Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 524 at scavengerlife.com.
We are home, which is nice. I like to be home. Although, I think this was probably the best vacation I've ever had. I know what he was going to say.
I knew you were going to say that.
It is. It's probably the best vacation I've ever had.
We definitely, there have been times where we went to New York, in quotes, for a vacation, and I was, editing video the whole time. You know, there have been times where we're just, we're still working. I did not feel like that at all this time. I was just I can do whatever I want. Right. I'm going to sleep till 9:30 in the morning and, go get a bagel and, read some stuff on the internet. Yep. You know, it's, so great. I mean, we did some stuff. We did scavenging,
and I think some of it too is just the being the pandemic, kind of being at home, and so it's nice
not traveling at all.
I think for me, since we live in the country now, I love taking these urban vacations. I love being overwhelmed in a city with all the people. I love being anonymous. I mean, it's not that
well, you don't have to wave to every single person.
I mean, it's just, so, I just love being able to go sit in a coffee shop and just sit there and just watch people, and it's great. And then I also love when we drive home, when we drive into our town, and we always drive through our town before we come to our house, and it's always in the evening times coming off the train, and we always feel that way. I'm like, oh yeah, that's our insurance guy. That's our
dentist.
Accountant. That's our dentist, and I know every... Yeah. It's not very big.
You see people walking down the street. There's so-and-so.
Right.
You know?
And I love that, too, about our small town, that we are part of the fabric of the town, especially now that we have a Main Street place, a coffee shop, so I like both those things. And, again, this world we've made has allowed us to enjoy
both places, right?
All those things.
It's nice. It's nice having, like you said, an urban vacation. It's funny because we obviously run Airbnbs, so most people are coming to vacation where we live from the city. Right. But for us, it's the opposite. We want to go get good food. I think you were talking to someone on the phone yesterday, and you were like, "Oh, it was great. We got sushi, pizza,
we had some good Cuban food one day.
Some of the best food in the world is there, and you're just any kind of food on one block. There's and it's so different where we live. It's so different where we're literally nobody's open on Mondays. Right. It's so different, and it's very refreshing to be in a place.
And I think a lot of it is just that eBay allows us to be here because and most people have to be in an urban area to work, to have a job, because that's where the jobs are.
Right, exactly.
And we live in a place where there aren't a lot of jobs or a lot of good jobs.
Right. Career jobs.
And so eBay has allowed us to live here and to take advantage of all the stuff we always talk about. Cheap real estate, cheap costs of being alive, and then we can go to the urban areas to actually enjoy things. Because I remember, I grew up in a city. We met in Manhattan, and when we were there and worked there, you don't really enjoy a lot of the things because you're working. It's things are just kind of boring. It's just that thing that I see every day. And now we go and it's oh no, that's a cool
special
thing.
Yeah.
So when we came home, we had 41 items to ship.
It was actually more than that, really? I will say, because I had a few on Bonanza. I had a handful of random things sold on Bonanza. Bonanza, also known as Bonanza. But and then some things sold the day we got home. So it ended up being about 60 items.
Really? So over 2 weeks, we sold 60 items, and we had our store on time away.
Right.
We didn't change our handling time.
No.
I
did at first, but I changed it back.
We did that a new time away.
It was good.
And that's only that's only 2 weeks. So if you're gone for more than 2 weeks, it doesn't work, right?
No, I think it's more than that. I think it's the max is the max 30 days? Yeah, I want to say it's about, you could do a month.
Oh, really?
Which isn't bad, cool. I think. I have to double check that. But we were only gone for 15 days, right. So.
And then we put a 3-day extra, so we came home and then you had 3 days to...
Our regular 3-day handling time.
Everything.
Right, so I had extra time.
So it worked good. And the podcast we did before this, we talked about the hypothetical. What would happen if you just ended your eBay store? It was I just want to say, people were like, no, don't do that. Like, you can just keep your store on and just sell passively. Yeah, right. I wasn't saying we were thinking about it.
We just get that question a lot, honestly.
I think it's just an interesting thing to talk about, because anyone that has an eBay store, if it's bigger than just a hobby, at some point it's got to end. Right. And so it's always just interesting to talk about, like, when do you decide to just like end your store?
When you die.
Yeah. Well, I guess that. Yeah. Or, I've seen people, they come in our community and they say, like, we're going to, I'm in the military. I'm going to go to a different base. I'm just going to sell my whole store. And they try and, have people come and pick up all their inventory.
Yeah.
I've heard people try and sell their store name,
Yeah. Like, so you're selling your feedback.
Yeah. I mean, I think for us, we've just invested too much in this, and we have a system where, if anything, we would just stop doing stuff and then just allow our store to sell slowly,
Well, if we look at our numbers this week, it feels like we did end our store. So.
Oh no! Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I have yes. I don't think we would end our store because we just, like you said, we already have a system. We have a huge backlog of inventory right now.
And we're going to talk about it. I think for us, the story is more like, eBay has helped us get to where we're at. Where now it's helped us buy real estate. We have these rentals.
Yeah.
It's helped us have the time to open up a coffee shop, and not only a coffee shop, a coffee business with a roasting and wholesale. I mean, it's a whole thing. I guess the challenge is, can you have multiple businesses and eBay be the exact same? And what we're finding is like, what we've always said is like, you can't just turn away from any business and have it think it's going to be the exact same,
Right.
Like, you have to put time into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish you could just like automate it, turn it on, and just walk away and every day just cash in. I think that's all the, like, those things you see online, like, take this course for how to get rich quick without doing anything. I mean, I just don't see how that stuff is possible. Like, you have to put time into it.
Fully passive income. I mean, like, we don't. We don't have things like that. We just don't.
But I have a part where we're going to talk about how to rebuild our eBay store.
Okay, great. I would love to know.
I do want to say hi to Carol. She actually came and stayed in one of our rentals above our coffee shop, her and her friend. She's from Wisconsin.
She drove almost 1,000 miles. It was like 960
She had
miles.
a friend who's kind of in the same state, and they came and they hung out, and it was cool. I got to meet her and say hi. And, I hope she had a good time. And she got to see all the things that we talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy a cup of coffee downstairs. But it was very, it was a cool thing. When we were in New York City, we did a lot of street scavenging. We haven't talked about this yet.
I know, because we kind of did most of it at the end.
And, it's interesting. We were kind of talking about how, like, we didn't see garbage on the street. Like, maybe people aren't really putting stuff out because there are quite as many people there. But, man, towards the end of our trip, it was the end of the month.
Yeah, it was the end of July.
Are moving.
Oh, my God.
Seemed. And so I'm going to flex a little bit, okay? We were eating at this sushi place downtown.
Right.
And it was like my night, right?
Yeah, you're so funny.
And I was like, I had a vision, and you allowed me to have it. It was great. We sat at the sushi bar,
right?
You know, if anyone knows, and it was like right in front of the guy that.
It was in front of the full line of chefs.
Right.
So you're just like watching like five dudes just like throw
It's like the
out
place
all this
where
fish.
most people wouldn't want to sit. But
it's the best.
It was the best seat.
Yeah.
And then I ordered like a platter. It was like a chef's platter where
they just send you whatever.
He just was like, I'll just make you whatever. And so we got to watch him get all this fresh fish and make all this cool stuff. Anyway,
it was crazy.
It wasn't cheap. It was expensive, but it was like it was
so
it's
fun.
what I wanted.
This is hilarious. I know I don't like sea urchin now.
Yeah.
It's like that's so
It was
gross.
a little gooey, but it was fun. But,
I liked everything else.
So we have this really nice meal, and it was a pretty fancy place. We walk outside. We don't get half a block.
We're not half a block
and
away.
I see one of the ladies that walk around New York, and they
collect bottles and cans.
Right. And they have huge, big bags. And she was
For
going
money.
through a bag.
There are some states that don't understand that you can redeem cans and bottles
for
in
like
certain
5
states.
or 10 cents.
5 to 10 cents.
So she was going through these bags and pulling out shoes and clothes, looking for bottles and cans, and she didn't see bottles and cans, and she just put the stuff back in the bag and tied it up. And I said, Ryan, stop. And we waited for her to leave, and it was like almost right out in front of this fancy place. And I went and I opened up the bag, and I was like, there's all this stuff.
There's like brand new Nikes.
And I opened up another bag on the street, and I'm like, there's all this stuff. So I was like, let's grab it. And so we grabbed these 2 big trash bags and walked by this place we just ate at, and then walked, whatever, a mile back home.
That's the picture, right? We're kind of sort of dressed up. Whatever, I'm wearing a dress.
Right.
We
as dressed up as we get.
Yeah, like a dress with leggings, right? And sneakers. But still. So we're like kind of like, we just had this meal. So we walk outside, like you said, we find these 2 huge trash bags full of designer clothes and shoes. And we walk right by the restaurant we were just eating with like everyone who's like hauling the trash. Basically, the shoes we found are gonna pay for that meal.
But it couldn't have been. But that's my kind of night. Like have a really good meal and then find all this stuff. And then we walked the half a mile back to our apartment, and then we got a grocery cart.
Right.
And we walked back.
We did. We walked back.
And we went through, and it wasn't a whole lot in that one little pile of trash, but it was trash night.
Yeah.
So we actually walked up and down the streets.
Yeah. And found some more stuff.
Opening up more bags.
Oh my God,
Jay! And we found some more stuff.
Jay was truly like things I find in the garbage, Martin, because he was opening, and man, trash is kind of nasty.
Yeah, because they're all like
restaurants.
They're all like black bags, so you can't tell what's what. So you go and you kick, and if it's like a smushy kick, you're like, it's probably food. A lot of garbage,
but. There were some situations, and I think people sort of do this on purpose, where there's like like a shopping bag or a West Elm, or a Crate and Barrel, whatever, paper bag, and they've put clothes and soap and cool
it's like
stuff in there.
They don't want to go through the process of actually taking it someplace to donate it,
right?
But they don't want to just throw it in a garbage bag,
they want
so
someone
they
to find it.
Put it on the street, hoping someone gets it.
So we found some of those.
So. Another night, it was like our last night there.
Yeah, I think that was our last night.
We also went out to eat, and we were just walking. Because that's your thing. I love to walk New York City, and we're going up and down the streets specifically to try and find stuff.
Yeah.
And we found a big street pile of garbage, and it was like a laundry basket
hamper
full of like nicely neat clothes.
Now at first,
and shoes.
I get a little bit nervous sometimes because it was move out night, and it was basically July 30th. And we saw some people moving, but you would see the truck.
Right.
Like there's stuff on the sidewalk and they're putting it in the truck. But this instance, it was next to the garbage can, and there was just like clothes and shoes. There was like Allbirds and like these leather shoes and I kept thinking, is someone moving? Like I'm looking around,
and there's
there's nobody.
Hundreds of people
just out
around.
At restaurants. It was like on St. Mark's Place or something, like in that area. Yeah, just like people eating pizza on the street, people smoking weed everywhere. You're just like, which is like a whole thing now. And we were like, I think this is in the garbage.
Yeah.
I wish we could have grabbed. We actually could only, because we didn't have our shopping cart with us, obviously.
So I grabbed one big bag, and then and then
the cool thing was there were a lot of clothes for selling and shoes, but there were a bunch of like shirts that were your size.
It's great. Yeah.
And we're like, this is like a new wardrobe.
Yeah.
It's just like cotton t-shirts.
That's
so funny.
That's our fun vacation.
Yeah.
And so just imagine me. I'm walking home about
with a trash
half a
bag
mile
on his head,
with a huge giant trash bag on my head because it weighs like 50 pounds.
Yeah, it's like really heavy.
And then we shipped it all back. So.
I did donate some things. There were some things where I was like, this thing's junky. So I actually had a whole trash bag that I brought to Goodwill. There's a Goodwill nearby. So,
but it is interesting. There is this gray area of ownership of street stuff,
right?
And if you follow the blog, what's it called?
Things I find in the garbage.
I interviewed the guy.
Yeah, Martin.
Up in Montreal.
Yeah.
He exclusively
sources from the trash.
Finds stuff in the trash. He drives around and he tells interesting stories of people
getting mad at him.
Mad, right? And it is true. Like one night we found like this nice chair by a bunch of bags of garbage, and it was like fold up. I was like, it was a great chair, so we grabbed it. And then as we're walking down the street, this guy started yelling at us, "Hey!" And he owns a store out front, and it was his chair. And
like just to sit by the garbage can.
But
we were like, "Oh, here's your chair back."
Sorry about that.
But like, well, the other thing too about Martin is, and this didn't necessarily happen to us, but people will see him getting stuff too, and they'll be like, "Oh, I have a whole other box of stuff."
Right.
So that's the positive, and I know that other people have experienced that, but it's tough because
people don't want you going through their garbage. I mean, like they want to throw it away, but they don't want
you to have it.
Somebody scrounging through it in case there are like personal items in that or something. I don't think I'd ever experienced when we've been there. Maybe because of the pandemic has really spurred online buying. But we saw so many Amazon packages.
Oh my god!
That were lost,
like misdelivered
in the wrong place. I saw a couple in just like the street garbage. Right. I didn't grab it because that does feel weird, like you're stealing like a package. But I mean, Amazon, they must lose thousands of packages.
Well, so here's an example. So we were staying in our friend's apartment, and they have like a little garden gate. So the UPS driver, whoever, had like thrown a soft package over the gate. So we thought it was for the neighbors, right. But they didn't pick it up for like 3 days. So we look at the address and it's 2 streets over. We're like, right. How could they make that mistake? Right. It's like several blocks away. Yeah.
But there would be trucks that would park in the middle of the street, and they would be unloading pallets of different packages, and then there would be like 10 guys with carts.
Oh my gosh!
Trying to figure out where all these.
I cannot imagine.
Yeah, it seems very inefficient, and I feel like there's a lot of lost cash.
I just don't know, like non-pandemic times too, or when people are going to start going back to work. It's like, how do you get packages delivered? You know, you're like, here's a big apartment building. Like, how do you...
Packages, I mean, people have...
mail rooms.
Yeah, they have guys up front who take everything and put it in a mail room.
True.
But if you're in a building like a walk-up,
right.
I mean, that's one of the problems. I would see packages like on a doorstep right on the sidewalk.
And you're like, that's going to be gone.
For somebody upstairs. I mean, yeah, it's crazy.
So crazy, yeah.
All right, I can't solve Amazon's problem.
Amazon.
Let's talk about eBay specifically. So you did put up a lot of items on our store.
While we were gone. Yeah, so I
listed a lot.
I think I listed over 2 weeks being on the train. And, while we were in New York, I think I listed 120 items. Does that sound right? About that many.
Yeah.
I just would be like, I'm listing. I got to get this stuff up. So I still have 40 or 50 items left. Maybe less than that. I have to look.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then my job was to find us a helper.
Yeah.
And I thought I'm like a headhunter, right?
Yeah.
Like that's my job.
Yeah.
And I thought in our town who we know, and I think I found.
We think
somebody,
we found someone,
and she's a young teenage girl, a friend, a daughter of someone we know in town.
Yep.
And she came over, and I think
came over yesterday.
Talked to her.
Yeah, I
her.
didn't like train her. I just kind of was like, this is what the job is. I'll show you where the office is, and this is what I would train you to do. And she's like, great,
cool.
So we'll see. Yeah. I mean,
I think it's her first job ever.
Yeah,
so
she hasn't
we'll
had a
see.
job yet, which is so funny, but. That's fine. Maybe that's a good thing.
So she starts when? Or
I think so. This week is a little bit crazy with like stuff we're doing for the coffee shop. So probably Friday, I'm going to be able to like sit down and train her and give her a chunk of items to do.
Yep. Good.
So hopefully I can list some stuff before that. So I'm not like, oh, and now more stuff.
Yeah.
So
cool. Well, that's one of the things to try and have our store back in action.
Right.
To
keep putting stuff, because I am seeing things sell that I listed while we were in the last few weeks, so.
and I think that's what a lot of people I see who have eBay stores, that's their problem, is that they don't have a problem finding good stuff,
right?
They just have the problem of getting it,
processing it. Yeah, me too.
Like that's the problem.
I also have that problem, so
yeah. So that's good. And then my question, we have not talked about this in person, so let's do it in public.
Yeah.
Do you think we should try an experiment and go back to an Anchor subscription? Like, don't pay for the whole year, but just like...
No, I don't think so. Okay. I don't think our store subscription is the reason we're slow.
Okay.
I think...
It's just such... No. It was like...
We're not
such a coincidence.
We're not the only ones that are slow right now. It's like we said, us and every single person I know is like on a trip. I'm on this like local downtown board. Mm-hmm. I'm actually in charge of the board right now, which is kind of crazy. AKA I'm the president. Okay. And I tried to...
You're a community leader.
Yeah. Right? So I tried to hold a meeting on Wednesday, and so many people were on vacation. We didn't have a quorum to vote on anything. Mm-hmm. So I had to like send everyone home, send the 4 people that showed up home. Right. So I think everyone's on vacation. Everyone's been living in their house, ordering stuff online all year and a half. I just think it's like a bubble collapse or something, because we're not the only ones. Right. People with all kinds of stores and... Okay. People are just like, I gotta get out of the house, and I feel it. We were just, know.
Okay.
So
I guess I just feel like,
and it's the summer.
We have had times in our eBay store lives, where we haven't put anything up for like 3 months, and sales haven't dropped as much as they have now. So I feel like our sales have dropped more than they've ever dropped before. Like, this is not the first time where we've kind of been passive because we've been doing a rental or something like that.
Well, there's a couple things too you can think about as well in the outside economy was during the pandemic, a lot of things we were selling were like household stuff and art. Like, okay, so that was happening. There were stimulus checks going out. You would see the bump when those went out. A lot of people were getting unemployment, and a lot of states have like ended that or ended most of it. So like the things that were stimulating the economy during like the craziest crash ever are kind of feeling like they're tapering off. So I think there's a variety of things happening. I don't like, I never think it's simple enough. Like, oh, I did this one thing and it like messed up the economy.
I mean, I'm going against every instinct by even suggesting we go to that, because I also don't buy into like, oh, I did this one thing and it ruined my whole store.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is just so weird. I mean, not only are we having not a lot of sales, just not a lot of action, not a lot of offers, not a lot of messages. It just feels like,
Yeah. And, I think people are outside and off their computers.
Cool. I guess we'll just,
we just have to
have
keep
this
going.
helper, start taking photos again, start putting things up on a regular basis. And then I guess go through the holiday season and see if
Right.
sales start bumping up.
Now, the other thing too is, the last several months since March and April, we have been very focused on the coffee shop. So I do need to be able to have time, like very specified time during the week to like list stuff. So
Right.
it will help having a helper because I need to keep up with her.
And we did talk about that, so we've
Yeah.
been able to shave some time off.
Right, exactly.
And then I'll do some more of the coffee shop stuff.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's talk about our numbers, and then maybe you can see why.
Why you're
concern
deadly scared.
So we actually had a good week a week ago, but we didn't talk about that on the podcast. This week, we sold 17 items.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's not a lot. But the problem is it was like pretty
Low dollar items.
under $30 items. So our gross sales was like $597, so like $600. And that's including fees and shipping, because we came back and shipped everything within 3 days. We had a lot of postage. Like we spent $286 in postage. So our net sales after all that got taken away,
It's like,
$200.
oh my God.
$200 a week. So.
Well, I'm so glad we have other
But
businesses.
it would have been $480.
Jesus.
It would have been almost $500. But yeah,
Yeah, I hadn't bought postage in 2 weeks.
right.
Yeah, it's Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay. Customer issues. We thank God have gone through a period where we haven't had like customer problems, which is good.
Yeah.
We shipped all that stuff out on Monday, and we haven't gotten a flurry of returns.
Yeah,
or anything,
we'll see as
so.
stuff gets delivered.
That's good.
It should be okay though.
So a couple things we learned in the forum. eBay did their eBay Open. They did
it was like a virtual
convention. Yeah.
Was it online? Yeah, it was online.
It was online.
Right? That's
You could like sign up for it. It was interesting. They said like 80% of the stuff on eBay is new.
Really?
Which I've heard that number be before, and so my question is, I wish you would share this info. How many of the people who sell on eBay sell new stuff?
Like, what's the percentage of
my feeling
sellers?
is maybe the volume of items
Right.
are new, but that just might mean there are a smaller number of guys or people that sell. They have like 100,000 item store because they have like a catalog
Quantity 10,000 of this
of
widget.
new items.
Right.
But I wonder if the amount of sellers.
Right.
There are more sellers on eBay that sell like us used weird items.
I believe that to be true.
Because I don't know if they're still trying to push this idea of like eBay's a new Amazon. Like come
God,
by.
get over that, please.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
give me. I just want some respect. Let's go.
Yep.
We have a user, long time on our forum, My Cottage.
Yes.
They said that because they had been involved and they went to the eBay Open.
Yeah.
They heard that eBay is working on a way to add immediate payment to best offers.
Oh, please.
And might have that launch within the next few months, and immediate payment to be added to auction sometime in 2022. No details on how that would work.
I mean,
that's
about time.
And again, this would behoove eBay, because eBay probably doesn't make as much money because people are buying things and not paying
not
for
committing.
them. I've always said, just adding instant payment when you accept an offer or a win in auction would be huge. Just make customers connect a credit card to their account. I think that you already do. So it's just like when you make a bid on an item, or if you make an offer on an item, you're committing to buy if it gets accepted.
Just like saying, buy it now.
When I buy on an online auction like around here, it's that same way. I put my credit card in.
You have to do
I bid on stuff. If I win, it automatically pulls it from my card, even if I pick it up or not. Like that's it. And it just seems incredibly inefficient right now that buyers can essentially send out like 100 offers and then just pay the ones they want to, and then just ignore the other ones. That seems very strange to me.
And honestly, it comes from a time when people were sending each other cash in the mail from, you know what I mean? Like from eBay in the old days where it's like, well, I can't pay immediately because I'm going to send you a money order.
Right.
Yeah. You know, and you're like, well, now that we have the eBay payments, you got, I mean, just, it's just like Amazon. Like on Amazon, you can't be like, oh, I want this stuff in my cart. Send it to me.
Right.
Yeah, put in your credit card.
Right.
Like there's no...
But that would be nice. Because,
it would be really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did not get any calls or voicemails or audio files sent to us, but you can call our voicemail line and leave a message. The phone number is 540-407-8486, or you can email us an audio file from your phone. Our email is thescavengerlife@gmail.com.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, and send in stories. You know, we always love to hear of like street scavenging.
Oh yeah, let's hear some of that.
I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Okay, a little bit of coffee talk. So our coffee shop has now been open for 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
It feels like it's been a long time.
It's a long time working towards that.
Our two partners, Phil and Jill, have just worked incredibly hard. I mean, and they were there while we were on vacation for 2 weeks, you know.
Making everything
keeping the shop down. So we're actually closing the shop for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week to have like a big staff meeting. We're having a staff kind of party.
Little barbecue, hangout.
And then we're going to get together with our partners and just kind of talk business and kind of see where we're at.
Check in.
So, yeah, it's good.
However, I will be roasting 2 days a week. 2 days this week.
That's right.
So if you want coffee, broadporchcoffee.com.
Yep.
Order.
I will be by your side, Ryan. I will be bagging those orders.
We actually are going to have a helper this week. One of our staff is starting to help us in the roastery.
Right.
So that's rad.
So it was exciting too to see that sales keep coming in. People who, if you want to support us, please buy our coffee. Yeah. At broadporchcoffee.com.
It's good stuff.
Okay. This podcast is ending.
3, 2, 1. Bye.